Hello. How's it going, people? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. It is, what is it even today? This Thursday. Yesterday, Arsenal played in Champions League against Club Brugge and, well, destroyed them. Let's be real. Absolutely destroyed them. Yes, Club Brugge tried some things. Didn't happen for them. They looked somewhat dangerous. Forbes was dangerous. Raya made a wonderful save. But overall, Arsenal absolutely destroyed them. Very convincing win. Another clean sheet. We held up, we held out. Madueke scores arguably one of the goals of the season, even in Champions League. Potentially. And we got the job done. 6 games, 6 wins. And I think it's pretty much safe to say we are in Champions League knockout stages without those extra games. Let's be real. We still have to play Inter away. We still have to play Kairat Almaty at home. We should be getting at least 3 points from the remaining games, and we should be done and dusted. Champions League, light work at the moment. I'm not going to get ahead of myself, but for now, it's been light work. But ultimately, yeah, Arsenal have done the job. Now we turn our attention, of course, to Wolves. But let's talk about the Club Brugge game. Let's talk about the game in general. Let's talk about injuries and all this stuff, because that is one of those things that's definitely boggling everyone's mind currently. Jesus is back. Gyokeres, oh my God, he's hell anonymous. Obviously, not getting many chances, but the ones he gets, he tends to hit at the keeper. Keeper makes brilliant saves, and that's about it. And we will have some uncomfortable discussions about Gyokeres as well today. We're definitely going to have some of those. So smash the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you are new around here. Don't forget to leave your thoughts down the live chat so we can tackle them, we can discuss them, and we can go from there. But let me know your thoughts. How do you feel? How do you feel about the game? How did you feel about this Champions League game? How did you feel about Arsenal? 3 points, Madueke's goal, Gyokeres anonymous, and all this stuff. Let me know in the chat. I'll be with you in... but yeah, where are we? Here we go. Let's tweet this out. Let's do this. Let's do that. Club Brugge, 3-0. Arsenal get the job done. Quite convincingly as well. I expected a bit more even game. I'm not going to lie, but mostly because Arsenal rotated. The starting 11 was something I kind of expected to see. Didn't expect to see, what's its face? Norgard at center back. That is one thing. But we kept a clean sheet. And the question right now is, does Norgard also start center back against Wolves? That will be an interesting one, even though Saliba technically is back and everything. Definitely going to be a topic for discussion. But we looked, well, not great, but at the same time, we looked also very convincing. Let's just put it that way. Obviously, we couldn't handle Forbes. Defensively, but overall, we got the job done. Forbes looked very, 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 very worrying. But this was the starting 11, but we need to talk about some stuff. Big up, Andrew. Hope you're doing well today, brother. Big up, Kip2. Big up. We booked it, busted. Game really outdone the building. Yeah, we did. And 6 games, 6 wins. I would say it's safe to say that we are Champions League. We are going through. We're gonna be one of the first teams that go through. To be honest, if we get the necessary results. Where is the table? I think here. Yeah, here it is. We are first. 8th place is Atletico Madrid with 12 points. It's 6-point gap. So there has to be something major has to go wrong for Arsenal not to get out to the group to the round of 16 instantly. I think we're gonna finish in this top 8. We are safe. We are done. We are dusted, and we are good to go. Big up to Norgard. Yeah, at center back, held it 90% passing. Well, he should, technically speaking, since he's a midfielder. But overall, Norgard held his own at center back. That was something uncharacteristic. I checked before the game, right? When was the last time Norgard played center back? I'm not sure whether it's true or not, but according to Transfermarkt, last time Norgard played center back was 2021, was still in championship, ironically enough. So if that really is the last time Norgard played center back, it's actually quite nuts what he did yesterday to some extent. Gyokeres is still not on pace, yeah, but don't forget the team didn't engage Gyokeres chasing. Yeah, Gyokeres is always, he's chasing shadows. I don't know what Gyokeres has to do for Arteta to play more on him. Because if you would ask me right now, name me the last 5 big chances Gyokeres got at Arsenal, big chances, right? On top of my head, I couldn't tell you. Because that's how little of a service he gets. On the other hand, Jesus is back, right? He came on for Gyokeres. He hit the bar, he did some things, he was dangerous, he was threatening. And the difference, what it brings when we play with a hold-up play, specifically, and in terms of skill sets, which basically just shows that Gyokeres is kind of not cut out for the way Mikel Arteta wants to play football. It's very evident. We still, with Gyokeres up top, play the same style as if we have Jesus or Havertz up top. And that is never, ever going to work. Let's be real. And Jesus, in those 25 minutes, has done more than Gyokeres, I would say, in the last 3-4 games, which is also worrying. Madueke yesterday. What a goal as well. Madueke in this one game against Club Brugge. Yes, I know it's Club Brugge. Bear with me here. But has done more than Bukayo Saka has done in the last 4 or 5 games, you could say. There's a very big, strong reasoning why Madueke should also start against Wolves. We look much more forward thinking, much more threatening going forwards with Madueke on the right wing than we do with Bukayo Saka. And as I was saying this quite a bit, that with Madueke, even in the beginning, in the early stages of the season before he got injured, I said that Madueke playing on that right wing, he looks good there. Yes, Madueke is missing the finishing touch, which was ironic yesterday and everything, but with Madueke, he has that skill set to cause chaos for defenders. And that is something Arsenal really lack in attack. We are very predictable, very calm, very, very zen. Let's just put it that way. And with Madueke, there we call storm happening, and it's very, very, very hard for defenders and the defensive team to catch on that. So Madueke as well. I would not be against Madueke starting against Wolves. 100%, I would not be against that. But we all know it's not going to happen, so ironically enough, so that is a bit different story. Yeah, but this team doesn't engage Gyokeres. Yes, they played like as if we don't have Gyokeres up top. We play as if we have Jesus Havertz up top. Another exciting thing about game was Ethan has not been playing, but looked sharp. Yeah, Ethan looked also very, very good. 100% he looked very, very good. Jesus was back, and he was back after what it feels like a century. Let's be real. But at the same time, yeah, he did more than Gyokeres. In those 25 minutes, Jesus did more than Gyokeres in the last 3-4 games. And, like, as I said, we play football where we need a playmaking number 9. Number 9 that has some skills, that has some hold-up ability, and that has passing. And Gyokeres doesn't have those. You get ball to Gyokeres to score a goal. You get ball to Havertz and Jesus to distribute and get a goal, to create a goal, right? And Mikel Arteta hasn't coached note number 9 as well, so he doesn't know how to use note number 9. Same was happening at Man City as well. So you kind of can get why Gyokeres is just not working. You definitely can see that. And as soon as Jesus came on, it was instant threat, instant worrying, the skilling, the dribbling, everything. The defenders were instantly on the back foot, instantly. And he hit the bar. If that goal goes in, let's be real, Gyokeres is holding the bench, and Gyokeres already, I think, is going to hold the bench very soon. With Havertz coming back, with Jesus being back. Gyokeres kind of has become Arsenal's 4th choice striker to some degree. Because whether you like it or not, Jesus does more for Arsenal at striker. Havertz does for Arsenal more at striker. And even Mikel Merino, for Arsenal, does more at striker than Gyokeres does. Which is very disappointing, because I'm a big fan of Gyokeres. A guy who in the last 2 seasons scored nearly 100 goals. And at Arsenal, he barely can manage a shot on target. That is the most infuriating part. Yes, you could say that's because of the team, because of how we play, and it is like that. There's no denying it. It definitely is like that, but I don't want to say that, because as a number 9, if we wanted someone who has the best of both worlds, something that Jesus Havertz has and something that Gyokeres possesses, if you want to combine them both, we should have signed Julian Alvarez. We should have signed when he was at City. If of all the City players, Chelsea players we have signed over the years, especially under Mikel Arteta, we should have signed Julian Alvarez. That would have, in my opinion, made much, much more sense than signing Jesus to some degree. But at the time, it's a different story, right? But it would have made at the moment, based on how we play, because than signing Gyokeres, because there was that hope that with Gyokeres coming in, that Arteta maybe would change his style, maybe the system, maybe how he plays, but he hasn't. And with unfortunately in this scenario, it's basically either Gyokeres adapts to Arteta or he's done. And that is one of the most worrying things in all of this. One of the most informed strikers. And I don't want to, like, this will sound very weird, but let's just say Arteta wins stuff this season and he stays. Gyokeres is done for. It's not like he's 22. He's also not the youngest. And maybe we will have to sell him just to get like a false nine playmaking scoring number 9, like Firmino used to be, like Julian Alvarez, like players like that, because Mikel Arteta has been very strong on this point that we don't actually need an out and out number 9 who bags in like 20 plus goals. He's very adamant that this team basically needs just a forward, and he doesn't mind sharing the goals around at the end of the day. And it's ironic, I'm not gonna lie, it's ironic, and Andrew is saying this also in the chat, that all the players Andrea Berta on purpose has signed at this club, aka Gyokeres and Eze, both are in Mikel Arteta's blacklist. Like, they get played out of position, they don't get played to their strengths, and they are not looking good in the team. That is definitely something that is not working well, and that's not going to bode well, because with Berta coming in, he kind of is stepping on Arteta's shoes. With the money Arteta is getting, he had quite a bit of control at the club and on the signings. But signing Andrea Berta kind of nullified and diminished his power at the club. And it feels like Arteta has really taken that to the heart to some degree, which is very, very sad, because I really wish Gyokeres would succeed at Arsenal. But to be honest, if Gyokeres scores 20 goals by the end of the season, nobody's going to complain. It's just a matter of how that's going to happen. Despite everything, in spite of everything, or are we actually going to play like that? Let's be real. Gyokeres is a 9. Arteta doesn't play winning football. Look at the games we have played. It's worrying long term, because we ain't creating chances. We aren't threatening. Saka is off. Yeah, that is also a thing. Saka is off key, and Madueke just blew Saka out of the war yesterday. Yes, it's Club Brugge. Yes, it's Europe. We look better in Europe. There's no denying that, because the European football kind of suits us better to some degree. Let's be real. But Madueke yesterday, as I said, has done more than Saka in the last 3-4 games. That goal he scored, the first one, just brilliant old school winger type of goal, like shielding the ball, then getting away with it, some 2-3 touches, pushing away defender, like taking on like 3-4 defenders. Saka, after these injuries, I'm very worried that if Arsenal give him this big contract, we will screw ourselves over. It will be like literally shooting ourselves in the leg. Because Saka so far, since coming back from the injury, deserved this big contract. Because before the injury, on the merit that he has had some three good seasons, he has been saving Arteta's job with Emil Smith-Rowe and the 22-23 season, some degree 23-24 season. On those merits, Saka would be deserving the big contract. But based on after the injury on the last year and a half, he doesn't deserve anything. He should be staying on the same deal. Let's be real. The most important games we lose points because we don't take risks. Yeah. And that is the biggest thing. Arsenal, to some degree, and this is on Mikel Arteta, he is scared more of losing than actually winning. He is so scared of losing that he's actually looking more than to secure the score rather than go for the win. Just like against Liverpool, Sunderland, Aston Villa, Man City, all those games we should have won. If Arteta was a bit more braver, if he was more forward-thinking, if he took some risks, bigger chances than not, we would not have lost any games in Premier League still to this day. But hey, here we are, I guess. Hindsight's a beautiful thing, isn't it? You don't take risks, you don't go all. Yeah, that is the biggest worry here. Also, questions about Martin Odegaard. Yeah, Odegaard also is now in this type of a box where, for me, Martin Odegaard, best case scenario should be a sub off the bench. Oh, but he's the captain. Give it to Declan Rice. For all I care. Give it to Gabriel. Right? That's where I am with Odegaard, because he's not getting sold as long as Mikel Arteta is here. Same goes for Havertz. He's not getting sold as long as Mikel Arteta is here. That's at least what I expect. right? And Odegaard, best case scenario, should be a bench player, and Eze should be in the number 10. How can you disrupt the team so badly that a number 10 who has had some very good games in recent times, who has scored a hat trick against Spurs, by the way, gets pushed out to the left wing just so you can put Martin Odegaard, who is coming just back from injury, in the number 10? And we saw how awful Eze looked against Villa. Number 10 is his main spot too. What I believe Berta is gonna get Arsenal manager. Which one? Who do you think Andrea Berta is gonna get that as the next manager? That is provided if Arteta goes at the end of the season, because there's a possibility he doesn't. Yeah, Arteta doesn't want Berta's players, 100%. It feels that way. It also looks that way to one big degree, one big extent. Let's be real. Because the two big ones are Berta has gotten him. They get basically shuffled and mixed around like it's actually insane. Eze, Ethan, a lot of players doing bad. Yeah, exactly. Gyokeres, Eze, Ethan, Skelly. Saka looks washed since that injury last year in December. He picked up the injury, yeah, and he just is not it. Nowhere close, not it. He doesn't deserve this big contract that he, in my opinion, that the talks are he should be getting. Let's just put it that way, because if he was continuing to play like he did 2 years ago, right, and stuff like that, double-digit assists, double-digit goals and stuff like that, and he would improve on that, fine by all means. But for the last year, he has done nothing to a degree. It took him a year, exactly a year, to get an assist in the Premier League, because he got an assist against Chelsea or whoever it was. He got an assist, right? And the last assist he got before that was against West Ham, November 30th, 2024, when he got 3 assists in our 5-2 win. It literally took him a year. Yes, he was injured for a while, but at the same time, there were countless games where he could have gotten these assists, and he just didn't. He barely scored any goals as well. It was not great. Selling Saka could be the case. If we could get some pre-penny and get some proper right winger, I wouldn't be against that. Then again, with our club, with our fan base, the way that we are doing things, it's never going to happen. Like, that is the other drawback. Watch out, Deck. Watch out, Gabriel Arteta is. Yeah, Declan Rice already, by the way, is playing with an injury. From what I have seen, Vigilante sent me a clip on Instagram, right? Where when he came off, was it against Villa? Who was it against? I don't remember now. Villa or the game before that, where he got subbed off because he got a leg cramp or something. Like, he got forcefully subbed off, right? And he rolled his socks off, and you could see that his ankle was, and that was on the other leg, by the way, not because he came off, that was on the other leg. His ankle was swollen, it was bigger than it should be, and the leg was taped up as well, just below the socks level. So there could be something to Declan Rice's injury talk as well at the moment, which is a worry sign as well. Big up, Akavin. Big up, AN Sports. Big up, Akavin. Thank you for the 1K. Thank you for your support. And big up to you and people. If you haven't already, go subscribe to AN Sports, NBA, NFL, F1, football. Show him some love, people. Show him some love. I believe we're going to get a manager. I believe Luis Enrique, maybe. I need a proper manager. Michael Bin Laden is a fraud. Ain't no winning anything if Arteta is a coach. Nothing exciting going this way. That is the thing. Arsenal can create moments. And that is the biggest thing. Arsenal and fan base, especially to the big degree, live off moments. And that was just like against Real Madrid and all these games like we have, like Nelson's goal against Bournemouth in 22-23 season. There's always these moments we create that basically signify our season, which at the end of the season don't lead up to anything. Unfortunately, that is the biggest issue, because they don't lead up to anything. And that is the biggest worry. We are Moments FC at the end of the day. Because even if you think about it, these games we have drawn or lost points, Chelsea, Liverpool, City, Sunderland, Villa. If we had, instead of Mikel Arteta in those situations, manager like Enrique, even manager like Emery, bigger chances than not we actually win those games. And that is the thing. Mikel Arteta is more scared of dropping points than actually going for the win. And that is mentality that at this stage for a club like Arsenal to being the level of Arsenal is very unacceptable. Because drawing two games is worse than winning one and losing one, because you get more points by winning and losing than actually drawing two games. Because to the some degree, I much rather lose to Liverpool and win against City, right, than draw against Liverpool, draw against City. That at the end of the day, that gives more points. That shows us something. And there's also ways to drop points. Whether you drop points in a Snorfest, in a Borefest, or you skank 2 goals from set pieces or something like that, and the other team has looked better than you, or you actually go for it. Because then you actually can say that, well, the team went for it. The luck wasn't on our side. We liked the finishing touch, but we were there. We were knocking on the door. We just didn't knock it down at the end of the day. There are ways to lose the games as well. Or even draw, let's be real. I'm not excited about anything going at Arsenal. I love our players are locked in, but I fear to my life we keep this manager beyond something. February, I feel our players are running through walls. That could be the case. We already are in a situation where since the beginning of the season, we have about 4 or 5 players out constantly. Some come back, some go back into hospital, basically. We are doing trading players, basically, with hospitals at this stage. And it could get worrisome. It could get worrisome. At the moment, it's not as bad, right? It is not as bad. At the same time, at some point, the penny has to drop long term. That is not sustainable. And I see many Arsenal fans saying that, oh, look, if any of their main defenders out, aka all of these, Gabriel, Saliba, and all this stuff, they would not survive, right? Spurs fans last year said, well, we had for the most of the season, we had Van de Ven out, Romero out, one or the other they had out for quite an extended period of times. Yes, and people's argument is yes, but you finished 17. Arsenal are still up top or near there despite the injuries, right? The issue with this is, though, even with Gabriel and Saliba there, we still are up there. Which at the end of the day means that the defense is not the issue. The issue is the midfield and attack, creating, scoring, holding the midfield, controlling the play, and everything. That is the biggest issue here. And that was the issue last year. That is the issue this year. And that for me is a big worry. Obviously, Havertz is going to come back. He's going to be the main number 9, as the reports are suggesting. Jesus is back. He's going to be the second main number 9. Gyokeres at the moment is looking like a dud. There's no other way to putting it. And that is mostly due to the fact that this manager doesn't play a style that suits Gyokeres, doesn't play to his strengths. And as I said, if you ask me right now, name 5, 6 big chances on top of my head that Gyokeres has had in the last 3-4 games, I can't tell you. Because that's how dull and useless he has been at striker at the end of the day. And Gyokeres at Arsenal, to some degree at the moment, is 4th choice striker, behind Jesus, Havertz, and Merino even. A guy who has never played a striker role in his life until Mikel Arteta decided him and Merino joined Arsenal. That's how insane it is. Big up, Rasta Stocks. Big up, Rasta. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for the congrats and everything. Hope you're doing well today, brother. It's nighttime for you. Why are you still up, or are you pulling a night shift? It's your second job. What's happening there? Why are you alive? Well, not alive. Why are you not sleeping? That video I watched yesterday with your fan, but it's wild. It's genuinely wild that United 08 versus Arsenal 25-11. Like, that is... I have more of those, to be honest. I have quite a few of those saved up on TikTok, so I can just talk about them during streams at times. There are quite a few of those. Football is a simple. Arteta is average, nothing special. Who elects Martin Odegaard captain? Who signs Kai Havertz? Arteta is so shit. That's the thing. Arteta says that whole what's its face team voted unanimously pretty much that Odegaard should be the captain. But he only said that when the captain was called out and Mikel Arteta was called out by Tony Adams. Only then he said that. If Tony Adams doesn't call this shit out, none of that gets said. And that is the biggest issue here. I really doubt that everyone voted almost unanimously that Odegaard should be the captain. Kai Havertz is a different story. Kai Havertz, Kai Havertz. By the way, the year we signed Kai Havertz, we could have signed for the same money and less. We could have signed Tielemans for free. We could have signed, Tony. We could have signed quite a few of those players. We could have signed Sorla, Dovbik, and everyone, and we just didn't. We didn't opt to sign out-and-out number 9. And I kind of can see why, to be honest. Because if we even signed Tony, right, and we are to be honest, Tony has better link-up play than Gyokeres, right? But if we sign an out-and-out number 9 and looking what Arteta is doing to nearly 100-goal striker in 2 seasons, it would have made no difference whatsoever. Because the hope was that Arteta would adjust his system and tactics to fit Gyokeres, but it's not the case. You either win Mikel Arteta's way or you don't win at all. And that is what is costing us big time at the moment. Players must adapt to Mikel Arteta's system. There is no other ways about it. Because in an ideal scenario, Mikel Arteta would adjust tactics to fit the players' styles and make them work in the team, and then they make them better. But we are looking the other way around at the moment. Getting ready for work listing. Oh, big up to you. Big up to you. The grind is always on. The quad is still on off. Freaking hell. Like, the things that Dio is saying, and who else is there? Coach is not saying that, but he's also almost in the same category. It's actually insane. The quad is still on. We're going to win the quad. We're going to beat Chelsea's defensive record. Freaking hell, man. He's more scared of losing than actually going for it, which for me makes 0 sense. Because if you play it safe, you're going to finish second at the end of the day. You're going to finish last. Unless you take some risks. And it's very evident that we don't take risks. Big up, Zier. Big up, Zier. Hope you're doing well. Hope you are doing well today, bro. Hope everything's fine with you. Donkey Havertz, yeah? Donkey. And he's going to be our main number 9 as soon as he comes back from injury before Christmas. That's what's being said in the socials. Havertz is going to be the main number 9. Jesus is going to be his number 2. And if Havertz, currently Mikel Arteta is going to look ways to integrate him into the team to play a different role. And that has worked well for Arsenal. Because the only role where Havertz actually has been somewhat acceptable has been the number 9 role. In the 8 he doesn't work. On the wings, God help us all. Like, it's not going to be great. Definitely not going to be great. Football, are we playing nothing, just intense running? Yeah, running, throw balls, and wonder what people think Arteta is. Yeah, exactly. We could have signed Isak before, for 65. We could have signed, but we didn't sign Isak from Sociedad at the time when we had the chance. We signed Jesus instead, I think it was. Because Sociedad wanted around 70 million, and Arsenal's board said that for a striker like Isak, who had about 10 goals during that season at the time, it was not money well spent, and it wasn't a smart investment. Looking at Norgards and all these players like Fabio Vieira, Sambi Lokonga, Zinchenko, and all these men, not sure about that one, Chief. The players won't do it, though. Yep. What's happening to Gyokeres then? Well, I'm not gonna lie, he's been shit. Right? I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm a big Gyokeres fan. Then saying that, it's manager. Because people say, oh, Gyokeres doesn't score goals and all this stuff. Oh, but he opens up space. Well, if I want that, might as well not have it. I can put up cone there so people have to run around him all the time. Because at the end of the day, you sign an out-and-out number 9 to score goals. And we just don't do anything to help him in that. And I'm going to say this once again, like 3rd, 4th time this stream. If you ask me to name 5 chances, big chances, Gyokeres has had over the last games, I cannot tell you. Because that's how little of service and chances he gets at the end of the day. The team is not playing to Gyokeres' strengths. The team is playing as if we have Havertz or Jesus up top. And it's very evident that Gyokeres doesn't have the link-up play like Havertz and Jesus has. They don't have these abilities. They don't have the technical abilities, which also sounds very insane to say. But yes, Havertz has better technical abilities than Gyokeres. And that is what is holding us up. That is what's slowing us down. This Arsenal team is great, and we are greatest in the making, but I'm scared that we are coached by Bundy. Man turned Martinelli into the best left wing back. Arteta is a time. Martinelli at striker yesterday, by the way. He was floating into that attacking striker role at times, and he was very good. He was very good there yesterday, by the way. Yes, he scored his goal. That goal Martinelli scored yesterday, for me, was the goal of the game. Personally, even though what Madueke did was insanity, right? But that goal Martinelli scored was vintage Martinelli. That was the Martinelli we saw a few years ago. At the end of the day, that's before Arteta changed the system and Martinelli turned to crap, right? But that was the Martinelli we used to see and we used to love. He was in the box, he cuts in, cuts out, drops defender with the shoulder, and then finesses it far corner. That was vintage Martinelli at the end of the day. Big up Godfrey. Big up Godfrey. Hope you're doing well, bro. Big up Terry Tibbs too. What's with the profile picture? Terry, what's with the profile picture, huh? Just curious. Sporting beat these bums 3-0 as well. That's the hype. Yep. Godfrey, what? There's no point getting onto Gyokeres when players are not trying to find him. Yeah, exactly. Hence why I want to see Eze in the 10. Give him free roam with Eze in the 10 and see what happens more. We haven't seen that, to be honest, because they have been injured once other one is playing. And Eze is being dropped on purpose just because Odegaard is back. So we might as well pack it up. It's never going to happen. And sometimes you should be playing players that are on form, like Eze, Emil Smith-Rowe at the time, Trossard at the time, and Arteta drops them instantly. As soon as his favorite players are back, they get dropped. They get treated like crap, trash. And we have seen that. As I said, ESR, Trossard, when he just joined, he was on for 2 player of the months, and he just held the bench. ESR got man of the matches. He just held the bench. Skelly this season, Wanyeri, players who saved his job is instantly. Good job. I don't if people remember Martinelli in 2019. Dude, Martinelli under Unai Emery as a number 9. Say what you will about Unai Emery, whether you like him or not. He knew how to get the best out of strikers. He knew how to attack. And he actually had the balls to go for it. He had the balls in these 50-50 situations and everything just to go for it. Arteta doesn't. Let's be real. Arsenal don't. And Arteta doesn't. And that is a big, big worry, because if we had, as I said, Arteta in these games where we have drawn or lost this season, right? You'd think Emery is sitting back. No, he's saying, screw you all, I'm going for it. And bigger chances than not, he would win some of those games. Key on the corporate brown bag hill. Yeah, I know, but why? Jesus had a very good cameo. Jesus in those 25 minutes did more than Gyokeres has done in last few games. Seriously, and as I said, Gyokeres is the 4th choice striker at Arsenal behind Havertz, Jesus, and Merino. And that is a big worry. Jesus hit the bar as well. Dude, if Jesus scores that goal, first things first, brilliant goal. Second of all, Gyokeres just might as well pack his bags and he's done for here. Let's be real. Martinelli was banging under Emery. Yeah, to the big degree as well. To be honest, Martinelli was banging under Arteta as well for one season, 22-23 season, when we actually played the style which suited our attacking system and our attacking players to a T. Why did Odegaard start that much? Should have been Ethan. No idea. Same you can ask, why the hell did Bukayo Saka get subbed on? Because Madueke was on for a hat-trick. Madueke had a brilliant game yesterday, let's be real. And only reason why Saka played, for me, is the fact that he needed some minutes before Wolves game, because he's evidently going to start most likely. And he wanted Saka to score. Because right now that Saka hasn't scored, he's dropping stinkers during games. Madueke has scored 2 goals, one phenomenal long shot. There's a big argument to be made that Madueke should be starting at the right wing for Arsenal against Wolves. Madueke is less predictable. He causes chaos. He takes defenders on. And he would actually help us. Yes, he lacks the finishing touch and the final pass. to quite a bit, let's be real, in situations. At the same time, he's more threatening. We can create much more with him on the right wing than Bukayo Saka. Big up, Most Wanted, big up. I think he's planning on playing Noni this weekend, but he should have left Odegaard on the pitch and played Wanjiri on the right. Maybe, but Saka definitely should not have played yesterday. He had like 9 goals in 12 games. Yeah, I think he had 9-10 goals in about 12, 13 games under Emery. Yeah, he was fantastic. Exactly. No player deserves shade except Odegaard, Captain Chicken. We can show us nothing chiding players. Martinelli was killing it. Saka, I wonder who remembers City when Arsenal. Yeah, it's nuts. It is actually nuts. Had COVID, I believe we could do with Mr. Airport's Arteta. Airport Albert back in charge, please. Should realize Gyokeres ain't going nowhere, man, and scared to get his Championships League trophies, Premier League. No, I know that, but I'm very worried that it's not going to be under this manager, because it's very evident that Arteta feels like has literally no idea how to use a proper goal-scoring out-and-out number 9. That's what it feels like at the end of the day. That's what I'm going to say, because that's what it feels like. Arsenal are not, Arteta has like no clue, because he didn't. There was no proper out-and-out number 9 at City when he was there. They signed Haaland when he left. We actually funded Man City signing Haaland by buying Zinchenko and Jesus for combined, 80 million, something like that. And at Arsenal as well, Arteta has never had an out-and-out number 9. You can technically count Lacazette, but he is not. He had Golden Boot winning Aubameyang, who he instantly just chugged to the left wing. It also worked in the 3 at the back when we played, or 5 at the back. In Cup, we won the FA Cup. Another formation, another instance, another tactic and style. He has never gone back ever since, by the way. Arteta is going to be football gods hate Arsenal. Let's just believe we don't do that. This manager complains about players not having enough rest, but brings on Saka. Exactly. He complains that players have no rest, but then Saka plays for no reason. You see some other players come on. Then Gabriel, when he's fit, plays full 90 when he shouldn't this season. Remember that one. Saka playing against like Preston and all these teams when he shouldn't and everything. Like it's not it. Definitely not it. I don't really rate Noni, but he is in better form than Saka for sure. Yeah, exactly. He is in better form for Saka. Exactly. Play Madueke. Play Thierry Henry. Noni, are you okay? Noni, are you okay? Are you okay, Noni? Yeah, play Thierry Henry against Wolves. Saka has been awful. Not awful, bad in the last games. Play Noni. He's on a form. One thing I will give credit for Noni Madueke, he is not infected by Arteta-titis. It's an illness where you pass backwards the ball constantly. He's not infected by it. He takes on opponents, he attacks, he dribbles, and if he doesn't succeed, he tries again. He's not playing the safe ball. He is there to cause mayhem and chaos. And that is what our attack needs. Being so predictable, so slow, boring, so insomnia-curing football, Noni actually feels like a breath of fresh air. Not going to lie, bench Saka, start Noni is far more threatening. Exactly. Saka is the most overrated player in the Prem. He's a sideways merchant. Yeah, under Arteta, definitely. I don't care. I won't blame Arteta for Saka's stinky performances. How is Noni doing better than him? No idea. Genuinely, I cannot tell you. Either the injuries have ruined him to an extent where he cannot, although Saka was doing already before that. But there is no way that Bukayo Saka looks at this and says, well, it's on me only. Or it's on Arteta only, sorry. Because we have had Max Daumann play the same wing where Bukayo Saka has played this season. And he did the same thing Madueke has done. He was double, triple teamed up, and he took them on and he got past them. Every single right wing we have had, besides Bukayo Saka, actually takes his man on and is constant threat. Bukayo Saka is the straight opposite somehow. And he is so-called star boy, main guy, and he should be getting this big contract. And so far, it doesn't feel like he deserves that whatsoever. This manager is going to be meetings. Berta Kronk is going, I hope Berta has some secret meetings with Cronkies about this sacking. Big up, Kwaja. Big up, Kwaja. Hope you're doing well today, bro, and thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Smash the likes, people, if you haven't already, and subscribe if you are new. 12 likes so far. Keep smashing them. Let's get it to 15. Thank you, Godfrey. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We finally have cracked the code. We are over 1K. Onwards and upwards to 2K we go. Yep, 100%. But that is also on... It's on Gyokeres himself, partially, but that is also on Mikel Arteta and the team. Because we definitely don't use Gyokeres as we should be using. We use Gyokeres as we literally have Jesus or Havertz up top. And you could see as soon as Jesus came onto the pitch, he looked 10 times more threatening than Gyokeres. Suck over CR7. I'm still laughing at that. Yep. That top Gooner in yesterday's video was wild. Saka over CR7, Skelly over Patrice Evra, like Odegaard over Ryan Giggs. Are you mad? Literally, are you mad? Odegaard 5 out of 10 for yesterday. Sounds about right. And that is Odegaard's standard 5 out of 10, to be honest. Yeah, that is a tyrant. How can you change something fluid only? Yeah, exactly. How can you change something that worked into something that looks like it's working but still leads to nothing? Yep. Odegaard is bang average, say the least. But yeah, let's see. I'm very curious to see what's going to happen against Wolves. Who is going to play? Will Saliba play against Wolves? Or will we play Norgard at center back once again? Because Norgard, actually, fair play to Norgard for yesterday's center back performance. Fair play to Norgard. I'm not going to lie. Because he wasn't bad. He actually was very decent. If you can trust Transfermarkt, as I said, the last time he played center back, right, was in 2021 season when Brentford was in Championship. That was the last time he played center back. If that is true, oh my God, he actually had a very decent game. He's full of PR, yeah. Gyokeres doesn't get the service he should get us get at Sporting. Our players don't find him. Exactly, he makes the runs, and now he's looking lost, feeling have chances, scraps. Exactly, that is on the manager. That's on the style and the system how we play, and that is the biggest worry, no matter how you look at it when you talk. When you talk about Arsenal, and especially when you look at striker situation going on, that is the biggest worry. If Arteta, as I said, if Arteta wanted the best of both worlds, link-up play, hold-up play, scoring goals, should have signed Julian Alvarez. Not sign Havertz or Gyokeres or someone like that. Should have signed Julian Alvarez at the end of the day. But Alvarez just went to Atletico Madrid, and Berta wanted Gyokeres and Eze and all this stuff, and it's as you see how this is going. As soon as one of our players turn in bad performance, the knives and pitchforks come out, whether we win or lose. Wait, what? Who you are talking about? Who you are talking about here? Against Wolves, don't be surprised. Expect the worst. People, I can't lie. Now I would expect Saka rise back, Merino up front. To be honest, I would not be surprised if against Wolves we start Gyokeres and at halftime Jesus comes on. If Gyokeres doesn't perform. Would not be surprised about that one, though. 100%. Let's just put it that way. So we'll see how it's going to go, but obviously it is a bit of a worry. It is a bit of a worry. For me, that Wolves game is a big worry because Wolves get smashed everywhere they go. They're the worst team in Premier League. And in typical Arsenal fashion, it's like being Santa Claus FC at the end of the day. We somehow give them something out of nothing just so they can get some points. Remember how it was against Southampton 3 years ago? It's something similar. There are some vibes to that. Yes, our team is better. Wolves, to be honest, are better than that Sunderland team. But I'm very worried about that we don't turn into Santa Claus FC. We need Arteta out. Yep, we need 10 away from 1,000. 10 away? Holy crap. We have dropped a sub since started streaming. 2 subs since started streaming, if that is the case. Really? We are 8 away, according to my sources. Saka this season, if I count the times he could clearly pass the ball to Gyokeres, but choose also to shoot. Remember, he was the captain. He had the pen. He is leader. Yeah, he had those chances, definitely. He had chances to pass to Gyokeres, especially against Brentford. Remember the second goal? If Saka doesn't score that, he will get slaughtered instantly because Gyokeres was there for empty net happen. And there, it's not just the one occasion, it's quite a few, and Saka is very selfish in that regard, especially since that injury he had last year that dragged into this year. He has become very, very selfish, and it's, again, a worrying part. If you want to be the captain, definitely not. So far, player of the season this year at Arsenal's Jurgen Timber. Yes, Santa Claus FC on some real-life shit, Arteta is... I think Timber so far is the player of the season for Arsenal. Who got man of the match yesterday, by the way? Who got man of the match yesterday? I think it has to be Noni, right? I didn't check it. Top Gooners now saying Saka is better than Yamal. The Top Gooners, and you saw the TikTok, I think. I played it on the stream as well. Top Gooners are picking Max Dauman over Lamine Yamal. That's all you need to know. I won't renew Saka's contract. I would not as well. I want to see how this season plays out, and only then think even about Bukayo Saka's new contract and what to do with him. How this season works out. Because based on the last year and a half, the way Saka has been playing, he does not deserve that contract. If you want to go on feelings and emotions of what he did before that, right? From like 2001 till 2004 or so, almost. Yes, then you can give him that. But if you want to look after 2004 and everything, 2024, you get what I mean. 2021, 2023, and something like that. Yes, Saka deserves a deal. After that, no. Also, he hasn't won a shit. He didn't win us the FA Cup. He didn't even play in semifinals or the final. If we go on emotions and feelings, yeah. Don't deserve this fraud manager. Okay, Top Gooners. Sheldon is cool. He's more on the fence. Let's just put it that way. What did he do? Yeah, he hasn't. That is another thing. He hasn't won us anything. That's also the truth. But yeah. So what do we do with Saka? Sell or let his contract run down? Let's check this. Saka's contract runs until 2027 with an option to extend. It's not the way with a club option to extend, which is not the worst case scenario. Let's be real. He has at least 2 years left on his deal. Let's just put it that way. And Saka gets 240,000 a week. Plus, if he gets the bonuses, right? If he gets the bonuses, it goes well over 300 grand a week. Hence why I can understand why is he so selfish. I think it's performance-based, goal and assist-based business. More goals than assists. Hence why he is more selfish. I kind of can understand that why. I think give Saka this season and maybe half of the next season. If he doesn't perform, I think not. I don't think extend. Because these injuries have absolutely annihilated him. Sell him in the summer, make a profit and buy him. Could be the case. Buy Rodrigo, lol. But we definitely could do that as well. Give Dalman a chance. Why not? Although you get what I mean as well. But I think lots of also strictly depends at the end of the season what's going to happen to Mikel Arteta. Because I am also a believer in the fact that if we get a different manager, Enrique or someone like that, we're going to see completely different Bukayo Saka, completely different Martinelli, completely different Gyokeres. I'm also a believer in that because our players are not as bad as they are performing under this manager, under this system. We have seen how good they can be, and they cannot be as bad as they are right now to some degree. Also need to take that into account. Let's be real. You guys cut on like crowds can ruin our football building backwards. The people should realize we have invested. Yeah, we have. Do you think a City or Madrid looking at such? I don't think so. At the moment, definitely, I don't think so. Ben White done really good yesterday. Ben White was decent. Hold on, Ben White got injured yesterday. Y'all clocked that because Salmon came on. Ben White got injured yesterday. It was a forced substitution. Salmon came on, fourth youngest debutant in Champions League from Arsenal. Salmon came on, if I'm not mistaken. No, Noni was cooking 90 minutes. Yeah, Madueke should have played full 90, definitely. Nah, Sheldon is cool. Sheldon is cool. Let's be real. I'm gonna be honest. Sheldon is cool. He's Arteta out, but on specific topics regarding Arsenal, he is on the fence, or he has more positive outview in terms of certain things. I absolutely get that. There are certain things I have very positive outview. The thing is, though, for me personally, right? I acknowledge the good things, right? But we are past the point where the good outweighs the bad, and the bad is starting to outweigh the good. Hence why people label me as toxic and negative and more plastic or whatever, fake fan or whatever they call me these days. This team on that they beat any team, yeah, exactly. Over Mikel Arteta's press conference, we are not going to get into it. Don't worry. I'm just checking if Arsenal if there's anything special about it. Got big party, Madueke, unbelievable goal, individual quality, yeah. Having competition for places, not in Bukayo, yes, maintaining the level, of course. On bouncing back after Saturday's result against Villa, that was important. On Madueke's performance, we need Madueke to start. Here we go, Marley Salmon making his Arsenal debut. We thought as well, so blah, blah, blah. Nothing about the injury. On pride, he has given the youngsters their chance. It's not pride and it's not a chance. Well, it is a chance, but it's not a willingly given chance if somebody is injured and you have nobody to sub on and you have to play a youngster. Because he had no willingness to sub on Salmon yesterday, 100%. It's just the fact that, well, Ben White got injured. Let's say 6 wins in Europe now. Of Gabi gives new striker profile. I think they're kind of built more different, Both of them give great qualities, but yeah, very specific. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Nothing special. He said nothing in interview, I'm not gonna lie. Big up Mubarak. Big up. Yeah, Madueke was great yesterday. Madueke was great. Let's just hope it's not just a one-off. Because last year as well, Madueke for Chelsea scored a hat-trick against Wolves, then went missing for the whole season. They played Wolves again. He scores 2 more. Like, that I don't want to see. Maybe Champions League is more suited for Madueke. And to be honest, we look better in Champions League. Arteta deserves some credit, but we are past the fact that he should be getting all the credit, and we should not be looking at the bad things he's doing right now, the questionable things. On top of that, yes, he could. To be honest, Arteta has done some great things. Let's be real. The rotation yesterday was very good. Let's be real. Especially after the overplaying some players, Declan Rice and everyone. It's good what he did yesterday, and we still got the result. This Arsenal team with Jack Wilshere wins. Maybe. I want Arteta to succeed with us, but he keeps doing the same things over and over. It's hard to back. Exactly. Win us Premier Champions League talks could be different. Exactly. It will be different as well. 100% it will be different if he wins us Premier League or Champions League. Without shadow, especially if he wins Champions League. He's going to be immortalized into Arsenal forever as the first one to ever do it. Let's be real. It's going to be different topics, different discussions, different talks. But right now, he's doing the same shit he did last year and the year before, making the same mistakes. After 6 years in charge, in 8 days, it's going to be 6 years in charge of Mikel Arteta, if I'm not mistaken, December 19th when we signed him, right? He's still making the same mistakes. And that is the biggest issue here. Sure, but this guy keeps, right, man keeps pushing. Yeah. Trying to get juice from Rock, I see. Yeah, and that is the thing. Arteta ain't winning shit. That, at the end of the day, is the main premises. Is the main premises. Because if these injuries also keep coming, let's just put it that way. If these injuries keep presenting themselves, if we still are on this train where, let's just say, 2 people come back, 2 people go into hospital once again, and we do this rotation whole time, don't be surprised if Carabao Cup or FA Cup get binned. That for me is another thing. We play Portsmouth in FA Cup. Should be light work, right? Away. We KO. Against Crystal Palace, when is it? In 2 weeks? Yeah, in 2 weeks, I think. How does Arsenal's schedule is looking like? Let's look at Arsenal's schedule at the moment. Because the schedule we have right now, it's very, very handy for Arsenal. Let's just put it that way. Wolves should be a win. Everton away, it's going to be tough, but should be a win. 2 8 p.m. kickoffs. It means I won't be streaming for 2 days. This sucks. Quarterfinal in Carabao Cup. It's going to be rough. Glasner is a very big cup coach. Very good cup coach. Glasner is a cup coach to a very big degree. He won Europa League. He won FA Cup last year and everything. He's going to be a rough one in this one. Brighton at home. Brighton are one of those opponents we cannot crack as well. We can, but about 60% of the time. And that leaves a big gap for us to, again, blunder something. Villa at home. Here we go. This is going to tell us a lot. Look at this. We play Liverpool on the 8th of January, Bournemouth on the 3rd, and Villa on the, on the 30th. These 3 games are going to be massive, although Bournemouth are not it anymore. Portsmouth, it's going to be rough. And then look again, end of January. Forest, Inter, Man United. We have somewhat easy schedule, but at the same time, on occasion, we have these tough trifectas coming on up against us. Tridents, let's just put it that way. We need Arteta himself to get one of these injuries, get him off the sidelines. AirPod Albert in charge. That could work, to be honest. The biggest is not even he should replace Bondi. Arteta should get... We'll see. Like, maybe. Big up, Hendon. Big up, Hendon. Hope you're doing well today, brother. We need him to win this. It's what I'm saying. Because we have become a laughingstock season after season. If not of the season and billion-pound ball jobs. Yeah, exactly. If we don't win anything this season, billion-pound ball jobs. It could get worse, to be honest, as well. So, it's going to be interesting. If we don't win, what's going to happen afterwards? Don't play Rice or Timber on Saturday against Wolves. Give them 2. Yeah, I would agree with that. I agree with this. Play Madueke over Saka as well for the right wing on Saturday. Like, Wolves are not a team where you need Rice, Timber, and all these. You should be able to beat them with your rotational players as well to a certain degree. Let's be real. You can give Rice a rest. You can give Timber a rest. And all these players. Like, we are in this position where we could. And we should. Not just could. We should as well. Will we though? That is a completely different story, and I'm very worried we won't. Also, we are in this position where we cannot afford slip-ups anymore as well. We're actually not laughing stock, but we are. Well, it depends. Because finishing second 3 years in a row, screwing things up, it has become a bit of a laughing matter. Let's just put it that way from a ops view, right? And if we don't win anything again this season, it's gonna get 10 times worse. Got to take it game by game, 100%. Wolves are next. Oh yeah, and it's gonna be interesting to see what's gonna happen against Wolves. Will we actually do the proper job, or we will turn into Santa Claus FC, or will the Christmas for Wolves come early? Just will sack him 100%. The Cronkies don't dump out big money off it. Yeah, true. They have spent $1 billion with no trophies to see. Let's just put it that way, because the money revenue coming from commercials, merch, and everything, it's all balancing the books, Champions League and all this stuff. But you need to win stuff. You need to win stuff. Arsenal is the only entity that KSC owns that hasn't won anything. Well, let's just put it that way, in the last 2 decades. Avalanche has, Rapids has, who else is there? Nuggets have, the lacrosse team, whatever they're called, also have. And some of those teams have won it multiple times, not just once. That is, yeah, LA Rams as well, yeah. Super Bowl and all this. Like, they've won massive things. Arsenal is the only club that KSC owns that basically are trophyless, ironically enough. You know what's bad? We used to win without spending big. In our period of big spending, we are winning nothing. Exactly. That is the worst part in all of this. If you think about what Wenger, even look at the FA Cups that Wenger won, the teams that he had, and the teams that he put, let's just say in the first 3-4 rounds to get through it and everything, it felt like there's no chance we're going to win the game sometimes. And he pulls out of the bag 3-0. 4-1, something like that. Do you think Mikel Arteta would have it at this stage to do the infamous 4-0 comeback we pulled off against Reading more than a decade ago? Do you think Mikel Arteta could do that? I genuinely don't think so. Like, that is the biggest issue here. Looking at some of those games. Bigger Fusion is not jazz. Well, what time is it? Good afternoon to you. Good evening. Didn't know you go live at this. I don't. I just didn't stream yesterday. So I decided to go live now, and I will go live in the evening as well. I will do it twice. Felt so nice, I'm going to do it twice. Hey. But yeah, it's... Right now it's just... So we'll see. We'll see how that's going to go. But yeah. Sometimes I feel we don't have the heart of Lion player like Alexis. We don't. We genuinely don't. It looks that way and it feels that way, and we don't. Thierry Henry said this on CBS Golazzo, right? And CBS Sports. He said this, when was it? Yesterday, day before yesterday, he said that, or was it over the weekend? I don't remember anymore on specifically, but he said that the way Arsenal players fell to the ground when they lost to Aston Villa, right? He said that it's just one game, right? It's not like you lost the title in this game, right? And the falling to the ground, the disappointment and everything. Yes, it shows that players care, right? That's good. At the same time, it also showed that players, and the manager included, care more about not losing the game rather than winning it. Because in that game, he didn't see Arsenal going for the win. He saw us parking the bus and hoping to get the draw. At the end of the day, he said that Arsenal are more concerned about not losing rather than winning. Which, I'm not gonna lie, is true. We much rather play for a draw than actually go for a win. And we have had countless games like that this season, even against 10-man Chelsea, ironically enough. And yet, yes sir. shows weakness and emotions. Man City emotionless. They are like robots. Then again, when you win on the deadline, that in the last stroke of the game, like it's fantastic. Everyone runs around flapping their arms like they're butterflies and all this stuff. When they lose, it's also disappointing. It goes with the territory. It shows the emotions, right? At the same time, the way we played that Villa game, it just showed that we care more about not losing rather than winning. Against Aston Villa, it was just shock to the system. We are not used to losing, that's all. Aston Villa had us. Nah. But again, you should not be in this instance. Unai Emery has had Mikel Arteta's number for countless years right now. Overall speaking, Aston Villa is the second team since Mikel Arteta has joined that Arsenal drop points most to in the Premier League on constant basis, ironically enough. And Arsenal, Arteta versus Emery, it's a battle where Emery 9 times out of 10 comes out on top. And he usually tends to come out on top when it matters the most. The 2-0 at home. Europa League semi-finals against Villarreal. Remember that one? Both legs. When the pressure is getting higher and it's starting to press actually properly, right? Emery knows how to deal with that and take the pressure off himself and put it even more. Just doesn't know how to deal with the pressure as well. Every season Villa messes up. Exactly. And that is not a coincidence. It's sheer pure mentality and managerial style and system. He knows how to absolutely ridicule and destroy Arteta. It's in his DNA. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, people, I think on that note, that's gonna end the morning stream. Gonna see you all this evening. What we're gonna talk about? Of course, Victor Gyokeres. We're gonna talk about Victor Gyokeres, Jesus, and Havertz. That's what we're gonna talk about into this evening's show. But for now, I am signing off. So like the stream, subscribe if you're new, and hopefully I'm gonna see you this evening as well. So take care, have a great day, and see you in how many? In 10, 12, in 10 hours. I think. Yeah, 10 hours. Peace.